Just 3 short weeks ago, House Speaker John Boehner had his retirement plans all set.
This prolonged leadership turmoil would do irreparable harm to the institution. So this morning I informed my colleagues that I would resign from the speakership and resign from Congress at the end of October.
And that was back in September, and so much for that. Those retirement plans are now on hold as Boehner has agreed to continue on as Speaker of the House, while the race to replace him is in disarray. His heir apparent, Representative Kevin McCarthy, quit the race Thursday, and it's unclear what's next for the GOP. Will the party find long-term leadership? Joining us to sort out these whirlwind developments is WSJ political reporter Janet Hook. Hi, Janet. Thanks for being with us.
Sure.
So there was Boehner looking forward to being free of all this controversy over things like the budget and immigration, and now he's right back in the mix. Is anything going to be different for him, though?
Well, the situation in the House leadership right now is totally in turmoil and flux. And John Boehner is kind of like a rock of Gibraltar in the middle of it, which is to say, as you pointed out, he's agreed to stay until his replacement is named. And what isn't clear is how long that's going to take. Now, right after Kevin McCarthy said that he was going to withdraw his name from nomination, it just wasn't clear who could possibly fill in. A lot of people thought immediately of Paul Ryan, the Republican from Wisconsin, very widely respected, but Ryan immediately said no. So that's when Boehner kind of calmed the waters by saying, okay, I promised and I will follow through. I will stay until my replacement is named. Now it looks like Paul Ryan may be reconsidering, which could give John Boehner a chance to head out to the golf course.
Poor Boehner. But do you think that this time, though, around, it'll be a little bit more freeing for him? I mean, he knows he has one foot out the door. Everyone knows he has one foot out the door. So he doesn't really have to answer to everyone anymore.
Right. I mean, if you don't have to worry about being reelected Speaker or facing a vote to oust you, presumably there's a more political latitude for him. And that's why, you know, in some ways the leadership turmoil gives some kind of silver lining to people who are hoping to avoid, say, a big fight over the debt limit. The debt limit is due to be raised in early November. And if Boehner doesn't have to worry so much about retribution from conservatives, he might be more free to cut a deal that would keep that from, you know, bringing the country to the brink of default.
Well, let's talk about those conservatives for a moment. There were plenty of them who were happy to see him go. Now they've got to deal with him again, but honestly, there's no choice.
Right, for now. I mean, as I said at the outset, the situation is really kind of crazy in flux. So people don't really know how much longer Boehner will be there. I do think that there is an interest in finding somebody who, I mean, one question is like, who would want the job right now? I mean, it is such a thankless job, and everybody who steps forward and thinks about running, it faces the pressure from the same conservatives. And so it may be that Boehner's the only one who could, at this point, make the kinds of tough decisions that the debt limit requires, unless, as I mentioned before, Paul Ryan steps up.
All right, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Janet Hook, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.